Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are here to do something very different. I actually have never done this on my channel, but I think it's going to be something that will be great for my family as well as great for you guys. So I'm excited to go ahead and do it. All morning I have been prepping my budget for this, and I'll kind of explain that in a second, but it does take some prep time, which is why I'm doing this right now so that you guys have plenty of time to purchase the kits and to get everything set up. So we are in the back of my family budget planner. This is an Erin Condren Deluxe monthly, the 7x9 option. I love this for our family budget. I feel like it's perfect for keeping track of our expenses, planning the future. I also keep track of all my business expenses here. That way when it's time to do taxes, all I have to do is transfer that information over to an Excel sheet, and it's super easy and streamlined. I personally decided to use a budget planner because I do better with pen and paper. I know a lot of people choose Excel, and that's great. You can do the same exact thing in Excel. I personally just need something that I can take with me that just feels real. And for me, like with this budget planner with stickers, it's like my happy place. Sometimes I don't like looking at it. If we're having a bad month, I don't love looking at it, but it always makes me feel so much better about what we're doing when I do check in and see how we're doing. So anyway, today we are going to be working on a 2020 budget. And I've talked about this in the past, but before I started planning in a budget planner, I actually used to do my budgets in Excel, and I would create kind of like a yearly budget, and I would never change it. I would create it once, maybe if like I got a raise or if our rent went up or something, I would adjust it. But for the most part, I was not actually changing it month by month, and I wasn't tracking what we were actually spending. So it was pretty much pointless. So I've been very far away from the whole idea of an annual or yearly budget because of that. But I've actually came to the realization that every month you kind of get a fresh start with budgeting, but you don't know exactly how much you're saving, or you don't have an idea of how much things may cost you per year if you don't take a look at it at like the annual level. So what I wanted to do was just put together what I thought our budget would look like for 2020. Obviously every month I'm going to adjust my budget. That's not going to change. And this is really just an estimate. It's not even an estimate. It's just a guess at this point because there's so many unknowns for us, and I'm sure there's a lot of unknowns for you guys. But I thought putting together a plan could help us accomplish some of our goals that we have. And I've talked about this a lot in my channel, but we really want to sell our house this summer, rent for a little bit, and then build a house, like build our forever house. And so we need to save a lot of money to be able to do that. We don't want to have a ton of debt. We don't want to have a huge mortgage, basically. We would love to put down a huge down payment and then try and pay off the remaining amount of our mortgage within like 5 years, if that's even possible. I don't know as of now because there's so many unknowns, like I said, but that's kind of the reason why I'm putting together a 2020 budget. So you guys know I have an Etsy shop, and I did put together some 2020 budget kits. These will be available in my shop as you guys are watching this. I do, as of right now, just have the 7x9 option. If you guys want to see the petite option or the 8.5x11 option, let me know down below. Just comment down below what version you would want, and I will try and put those up as soon as I possibly can. But again, comment down below so I know that you guys are interested and I have an idea of how many people would want it. I don't want to put together a huge inventory of these things if nobody wants them, and that's completely fine. I just personally wanted to make something for me because, again, I do better when I have something cute to look at. But again, just let me know if you want to see your options. So we have the 2020 budget, and I did use the print from the New Year's kit, the January kit, so you can't really see it very well in the camera, but they're the little balloons and stuff, and I think it's so cute. I'm not going to use washi with this because I want to have as much space on the page as possible, but you could layer it with some washi if you want to do that. So I have the 2020 budget here, which is basically the same exact thing as my regular budget sheet. It just says 2020 budget. I also have 2020 sinking funds, So same basic thing, except for now we have category, annual amount, monthly amount, and then just notes. So if you want to keep track of like how much you're, like when something is due, or what it is per quarter or something like that, then you could put notes down there. And then I did the same thing for variable income as well. Variable income, it's pretty much just a regular budget kit. It just says variable income. And this is because I actually don't create a budget for business expenses. I haven't yet, but I'm going to start kind of keeping track of what I think I'm spending per month on certain items and getting a better idea, because honestly, the more that I spend on, you know, stuff for Etsy or computers or whatever else, that's less money that we have for, you know, our budget. Like, it's less money that's coming into our regular budget. So anyway, those are the 3 kits that I came up with. Again, if you want to see these in any sizes other than 7x9, leave a comment down below. If you want to see something, a different type of kit, let me know as well. I will try and work on those as much as possible, although I have to say, I am due in like the next month, like within the next month I will have a baby. So definitely let me know ahead of time if there's something that you guys are wanting to see. So I think what I'm gonna do is trying to think of what I want to have on what pages. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put my regular budget here, my variable income here, and then maybe my sinking funds on the next page, just because these two are more like budgets, whereas the sinking funds, again, is just me like saying how much I'm going to put per month. And I'm gonna try to be better about sinking funds, like where I actually like do the same amount every month. I put together an idea. Like I said, I have my little draft budget page here. I have 3 pages worth of numbers. So poor Jason was like, can we please be done talking about this after just a short period of time. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna start with my income, and I don't talk about how much I make, and that's not going to change in this video. So sorry about that, guys. I just honestly don't think that it's something that I need to share, and I'm sure you guys totally understand that, but that will not change in this video. But I will be like trying to budget as much as possible and show you guys as much as possible. So I think it'll still be beneficial to see. So like I said, I'm not going to do anything crazy with washi or anything. I just want it to be kind of simple, but you could definitely add washi to make it look a little bit more cute. So in terms of my actual budget, this is what we're going to do. And I know there's going to be a lot of changes to our budget. So one unknown thing is whether or not Jason will continue to work. Once we have the baby, I don't know if that's going to change. Like I said, we plan on selling our house, so we might be renting instead of having a mortgage, and so that might change some things. We might put Macy in preschool, or like a more full-time preschool, rather than having her in 2 days a week. So that's also an unknown. So I'm creating this as of right now, and I'm gonna make adjustments as things change. The other thing that I wanted to mention is my normal budgets, like my normal monthly budgets, will be where I'm keeping track of all of our expenses, and then I'll go back at the end of the year and fill in our actual amounts and kind of see how we did compared to budget. But I won't be tracking expenses in 2 different places. That will kind of come along with our monthly budget. So I'm going to do our income as my salary, variable income, which is what will be pulled from here. So I'll estimate how much I'm gonna make from all of my variable stuff. I will take out all of my expenses, and then whatever's left over will come here to this actual for variable. Hopefully that makes sense. I do the same thing with my monthly budgets, but I just wanna make sure you guys know what I'm doing. And also, this is gonna be a super long video if you haven't already realized. I am using an erasable pen. This is the Friction pen in 0.5. I will have this link down below if you guys want to check it out, but I'm doing it purposely in an erasable pen so that I can go back through and make adjustments as our budget changes, because this is going to be more of a working budget and not so much like a one-time only budget, because if I did that, then there's no way that anything is going to be anywhere close to what it is. I won't be changing like certain amounts, but some things like Macy's preschool, if she goes from going 2 days a week to going full-time, that's going to be a huge difference. And so I want to make that adjustment in our budget so that I know that we're having a more accurate estimation, if that makes sense. So we have variable, and then we have Jason's income. And I think I'm going to leave it at that because I don't anticipate having anything else going on. I honestly don't even know if Jason will be working very much in 2020. We'll kind of see how that goes. But we are just going to go like that. Okay, and then we are going to break it into variable expenses. You can do it as total expenses, like, and not have it broken out, but we have a lot of expenses and I want to make sure I have plenty of room, so that's kind of why I'm doing this. And I'm not going to leave any room for any extra washi or anything. Again, this is supposed to be like purely functional, with a little bit of cuteness. So I'm super excited about doing this. Like, I have an idea of how much I think we'll save for every month and then what that will be a yearly amount, but this really like has given me a great idea of like, okay, if this is how much we spend, this is what the result will be. And I feel like it just motivates me to keep on it and like be better about saving and not spending as much. So anyway, let's get right into it. So for variable expenses, we have some stuff that's related to house that's in our variable expenses. We have some stuff that's in our sinking funds, and so we'll go into all of that. So first we have our electric, and I'm just going to write out all of our categories first, and then I will draw our lines and put our budget amount. These budget amounts will be a yearly figure, and after everything is said and done, after I take my pictures and show you guys everything, I'm going to actually go through and fill in the estimated amounts for everything, even my salary and stuff like that, because again, I want to have this to be something that I'm actually working with. So you probably won't see it again after this time. So we have electric, we have our gas, and I'm separating it into variable expenses and fixed expenses because there's some things that are going to stay exactly the same every month, and there's going to be some things that kind of fluctuate. And so I kind of did like a round number. So for electric, sometimes our electric is like $70. Sometimes it's $120. So I'm going with $100 per month and thinking that like every month it'll kind of even out and be around 100. But again, it's just an estimation. You don't have to be perfect with it. Then we have our cable. We have gas for our cars. We have groceries. We have eating out. We have household expenses. We have our haircuts, which include Jason's monthly haircut, my monthly eyebrows. We have our allowances, which we get $20 per week per person, and I'm gonna leave that the same. We also have my eyelashes, which I get done every 3 weeks, and I don't know again if that's gonna stay the same. I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing them forever, but I'm gonna put them in now because that's kind of what we're doing. I'm putting in our sinking funds. I'm also going to put a miscellaneous in here because again, this is going to be a yearly budget. So there's going to be things that come up that we don't anticipate or that we, you know, want to spend money on, and I'm just going to assume that there's certain money there, but I'm not going to put that into our actual budget. This is going to be for something that like randomly comes up. Like let's say I don't know, this is hard because there's most of the stuff that we're going to be doing should already have a place somewhere, but I'll think of something and let you guys know if I remember. And then I'm going to put an unbudgeted section here because, again, there is a possibility that we will have something that comes up that's unbudgeted. Miscellaneous and unbudgeted could be the same, although I think of unbudgeted as something like that during that month I did not budget for, whereas miscellaneous could be something that I just didn't include in this budget, in this 2020 budget, but I include in a monthly budget, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. I feel like it makes sense in my brain, but anyway. Okay, so that's the total for all of our variable expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down below. We can draw in our little lines and we can start filling in our amounts. Okay, so for electric, I'm assuming that we're spending $100 per month, so that's going to be $1,200. For gas, I'm assuming it's $60 per month, so that's going to be $720. Okay, I'm going to redo that because my writing is getting sloppy. I've written so many numbers today. Okay, so 120, 720. Cable, I'm assuming $150 per month. It's really about $145 or so, but I'm assuming like maybe every month we rent a movie or something. We really don't do that, but you never know. So $1,800. Gas for our car, I'm assuming it's $150 per month as well, so that's another $1,800. Groceries, I'm assuming $150 per week, and the reason why I'm doing that is because we're gonna have another baby, so obviously we'll be buying like baby food and like just more food in general. So I'm gonna assume $150 per week, and this might not be reflected in my January budget because obviously I'll be breastfeeding. There won't be a ton of expenses related to that, but it may be like later in the year where like instead of it being $150, it's more like $175, and so it'll even out every month. This is going to be looked at like the yearly view, not so much the monthly view. Although a lot of these numbers I will try, like I'll probably put $100 per month for electric, $60 for gas, and so on. So it just kind of depends. For eating, oh wait, so groceries, that ends up being $7,800. That's $150 per week, and that's assuming 52 weeks. Eating out is going to be $2,600, which is $50 per week. Household expenses, I'm going to do $1,200. That's just $100 per month, and that's usually pretty accurate in what we're spending. Haircuts are going to be $480 per year. That is going to be $40 per month. Our allowances are going to be $20 per week per person, so that's going to be $2,080. Eyelashes are going to be $60 every 3 weeks, so roughly $1,050. This is where I'm saying where like some amounts, like you think $60 every like month or $120 every month depending on the timing, like doesn't seem like that much, but $1,000 for eyelashes, that seems like a lot to me. Although I definitely think that it's worth it because of the time it saves me at this period in time. It is definitely something that's a little bit more expensive. Sinking funds, I'm not going to write down the sinking fund amount because that does include taxes, and I'm not going to share tax information with you guys. That's kind of a slippery slope. But for miscellaneous, I keep looking outside. I hear trucks going by. I'm waiting on a package, and it has not come yet. It is like super late. Okay, so sinking funds I'm not going to put in. Miscellaneous, I'm going to put $3,000 per year, or for the year, and that's roughly $250 per month. Again, I don't anticipate needing that, but you just never know. We're going to leave it in there because you just never know. And then unbudgeted, we're going to do $0. So those are all of our variable expenses. And again, I feel like when you look at some of these expenses, it really opens your eyes to how much certain things cost. Like our utilities are very low, but there are some expenses that I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of money. Even though it doesn't seem like it's that much, when you look at it in terms of like a monthly amount, it does add up to be a lot. Next, we're gonna do our fixed expenses. And if you haven't realized, not a ton has changed in terms of our budget. Like I didn't add a ton. There are some things that I normally don't include, like miscellaneous, but for the most part, everything is the same. Okay, and I'm doing this so that I don't accidentally write all crooked. So for fixed expenses, we have our mortgage. And if we end up selling our house, and this will change to rent, we do have our car. We have preschool, which could change if Macy goes more full-time. We do have swim class. Then we get into some of our subscriptions, which again may change. I don't know if we're going to continue having these forever. We have Apple Music, Amazon Prime, which I know is cheaper if you do the yearly amount, but it's just kind of easier to have it as a monthly amount for right now. And then we do have a like bow subscription for the girls. That's Little Poppy, so that's a little bit of a splurge item as well. And that's it in terms of our fixed expenses. So let's go ahead and put our total in. And then we can put in some of these amounts and move on to sinking funds. Okay, so preschool for the year, if we continue it exactly the way that it is right now, would be $13.90. Swim would be $1,080. Apple Music would be $119.88. Amazon would be $155.88. And Little Poppy would be $377.76. Okay, so those are all of our like main categories for 2020. That's like our personal family budget. I'm gonna put on the very bottom a spot for total potential savings. And this is the number that like means the most to me. I can adjust our expenses pretty easily. And those will change, I know, especially with our like potential move and all of that. But I really just want to see what we're going to save for the year. That's super important to me because that's what's going to be going into our house. And that number can change. Like if our like expenses change, if our income changes, those things can change dramatically. Okay, so now that we have that, let's see. I'm trying to think about, I'm not going to set up the variable income with you guys because I'm going to actually put the real numbers and stuff, and that's something that I just don't share. But that is an option if you want to put something like that together. Okay, so now let's get into our sinking funds, and we'll just do this on the next page. I'm trying to see if I want to. You know what? I think I'm going to do our sinking funds on this page. Just because it's going to bother me that this doesn't match on the other one. And I know I could probably totally change that, but we're just going to do it on this side. No, we're not. Sorry, guys. I'm switching my mind over and over and over. Okay, so let's do sinking funds on this page. We'll leave that other one blank for now. Oops. Okay, so I think I'll do it over here. Okay, so in terms of sinking funds, this was the really interesting part for me because sinking funds are pretty expensive, but if you use them, they should really help with like the majority of the things that like randomly come up. That's one nice thing. And I'm gonna try and find something really quickly. Sorry guys, I know this video is already gonna be super duper long. It's gonna drive me insane that like little box thing is a different color. So I'm just gonna quickly look through some of my, here we go. This is perfect actually. I just wanna cover this up. It's gonna drive me insane that it doesn't match. And that actually goes really well. So there you go. Pretty easy to make a little adjustments. Okay. Okay, so in terms of sinking funds, I'm not adding any new sinking funds in the mix. We're just gonna go with the ones that we currently have. And I'm gonna do exactly what I did before. I'm just going to start by putting all of our categories down, and then I will put in our annual amount, what the monthly amount is, and then any notes that I may have. So first we have beauty. Then we have car insurance. Then we have car maintenance, car tags, we have our cell phone, we have Christmas, and I'm going to put slash gifts because it's not just for Christmas. We have clothes for all of us. So clothes for the baby, clothes for Jason, clothes for Macy, and then clothes for me. Then we have diapers, which will definitely be very used. We have entertainment. We have family pictures. We have golf for Jason, which I don't know how much he will actually get used, how much of this he'll actually use with another baby, but we'll see. We have home maintenance. We have medical, pool passes, tolls, taxes, trash, vacation, and water. Okay, so those are all of our sinking funds, and this may change. We may add another sinking fund, but this has been kind of what we've used for a while, so I think it should be pretty sufficient for this year. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw in our lines, and then we can fill in some of these amounts. This is where a lot of our expenses are. And the funny thing is, if you don't have sinking funds and you don't take a look at these numbers, then you could probably think, oh, you know what, we can cover some of these things as the months come on. But I'm telling you, if you saw the total amount for this, this is more than, this is more like pretty much the same as like our fixed expenses, which is insane. Like, it's a lot of money. Okay, so the annual amount that we're gonna do for beauty is $480, which is going to be $40 per month. I feel like that's what I've done quite a bit, and it's pretty sufficient. Right now we currently do $175 per month for car insurance, and we're going to continue doing that. So that's $2,100 and $175. Car maintenance, we are going to do $50 per month, which ends up being $600 a year. I've talked about this quite a bit, but Jason has pretty much a brand new car. My car is only 6 years old, so we don't anticipate having a ton of car repairs. It's usually just like some maintenance. So I think $600 should be fine. But if we ever run into a situation like that, we can always use our savings. Not our emergency fund, we can use our regular savings. I've just realized like over the last couple of years that I'm putting a lot of money into those accounts, like the car maintenance, and it's just sitting there, and I'd rather have it in like our savings account or, you know, use somewhere else. Car tags, we're doing about $18 per month, so that comes out to $216 per year. So $18 per month. Cell phone is $50 per month, so that brings us to $600 per year. And this will probably not change. If we were going to buy a new phone, we would just do it straight out. We would not do it like adding it to our plan, if that makes sense. Christmas and other gifts, I'm going to do $1,800 for the year. And I didn't like really dig deep into that. I don't know if that's going to be a great number, but that's $150 per month, and I feel like that's probably fine. Like, we should not be spending a ton of money on gifts for anybody, really. So for the baby, we're gonna do $50 per month for clothes, because she will obviously be growing a lot, and we don't have a ton of Macy's old clothes, so I'm hoping that $50 is good. For me and Jason, we're gonna do $20 per month, and Macy is gonna be $50 per month as well. So we'll just fill in some of these. So that brings us to $240 for Jason, $600 for Macy, and $240 for me. Jason and I use our allowance. We'll use birthday money to buy clothes, because honestly, what else do you spend your money on as an adult? But if that needs to change, then I can always adjust that. I'm just doing it as low as possible because I feel like we don't really need a ton. Okay, diapers, I'm gonna do $50 per month, and that will bring us to $60 or $600, and that might be really low. We may need to up that, but we'll kind of see. Entertainment, I'm gonna do, okay, I'm switching these around. I'm not no one told me. You guys did not tell me. I'm totally kidding because you guys are not here. I should have put the monthly amount first, because or I should have done it like the right way on my little cheat sheet, because I did not do it that way, and that's why it's confusing me. So $600, $240, $600, $240, and $600. Okay, sorry guys. I switched it on my little cheat sheet over here, and so that's why I'm getting all mixed up. So this will be $50 per month, $20 per month, $50 per month, $20 per month, and $50. Okay, entertainment, I'm going to do $1,800 for the year, and that is roughly $150 per month. Family pictures, I think $300 is probably sufficient. I think ours were like $250, $275 or something like that, so that's going to be $25 per month. Golf is going to be the same at $300 and $25 per month. I'm totally guessing on that. I don't know if Jason's even gonna get much playtime, honestly. $1,200 for home maintenance, which will be $100 per month. We do plan on selling our house, so I think, you know, for the 6 months or so that we have left, hopefully that's plenty. For medical, our medical, I believe, is the max out of pocket per person is $1,500. So if I multiply that by 4, that brings us to $6,000 per year. And that's $500 per month putting in. And honestly, I kind of want to do that just because it would be nice to have that and like feel like if anything happens, we're completely covered, especially with Jason's heart condition. So we'll kind of see, but that's my plan. And this number may change. I haven't had my open enrollment yet at work, so there's a huge possibility that this will be a different number. For pool passes, we did not get pool passes last year, but I'm going to put this in anyway because it is something that I know will eventually happen. That's $156 per year and $13 per month. Tolls, I'm going to say, are $120 per year, and that's roughly $10 per month, so not too bad. Again, I'm not going to go into taxes with you guys because then I get into like being a financial advisor, and that's not my goal with this. My goal is to just share what I do, give you guys ideas, not really to coach people into how they should track their taxes and all of that. So we're gonna move to trash. For trash, we are going to assume $360, and that's about $30 per month. Vacation, we're gonna assume $3,000. I don't know how much vacation we're gonna actually be taking, but we do visit my sister every year at least once, and so we're gonna say $3,000, which is $250 per month. And then the last thing that we have is our water. We're gonna assume that's going to be $540, and that's $45 per month. Okay, so here is what we have in terms of sinking funds for 2020. Honestly, I think that these numbers are pretty solid. I think these are good numbers. I think they'll be sufficient as long as we don't go too crazy. I do like having this note section over here because after the fact, like when I'm filling in my tax amounts for the year and for the month, I'm gonna write in what the quarterly amount is so that when I'm paying my estimated taxes, I can, you know, keep track of what it should be on a quarterly basis. That number may change after we get our taxes done for 2019 because obviously you kind of have to adjust things and see if there's any major changes or anything like that to what we assumed when we estimated our taxes for last year or this current year. So anyway, that's our sinking funds those are our sinking funds for 2020. I feel like now that we have these down, not only do I have an idea of how much we're going to save for the year, which is great. It's definitely what I kind of imagined, but it's just a good thing seeing these amounts. The other thing I have to say is it really puts things into perspective. Like, you know, if you want to save more money, where can you cut costs? Some of the things that we can cut costs, like it would be really easy to. Like I said, $1,000 for eyelashes, that would be super easy to cut if I wanted to cut that. Some things that are just kind of unavoidable too, like just being safe about certain things, like our medical. That's a huge expense, and once we fund that for like a year, as long as nothing crazy happens, we have that money set aside for medical. That's going to be like there as long as we don't need it for anything, which is great. I would love to have that. I would love to have $6,000 just in case of an emergency like that. But anyway, this is kind of our plan for 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it. Like I said, I know this is a super duper long video, but if you guys want to check out this kit, it is available now. And if you want it in a different size, also let me know, because as of right now, it's going to be just the 7x9 option. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take pictures and get this uploaded for you guys for Sunday night. And then I'm going to go through and fill in the remaining amounts just for my reference. I feel so much better that I did this exercise. It did take a lot of time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It took a lot of time. And I just had to let a lot of the assumptions about what's going to happen in the future just kind of go. Like I'm just doing this as of right now. there's a lot of things that I can't predict. I don't know what's going to happen. And so as long as you can kind of let that go, I think this will be a great exercise for you guys. And again, don't feel like because you've put this together that this is what has to happen every month. Like, in no way do I think because I said, okay, like these are my monthly amounts, that this is the set monthly amount. In no way do I actually assume that, because I'll probably change things. I don't know if I'm gonna want to put $500 for medical. I don't know if that's really something that we need to do right now, but this is a plan, and so this is what I plan to do as of right now. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. I definitely feel a lot better now that I did it, so hopefully that you guys feel the same way when you guys do it. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this whole process, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.